UFC Fight Night Usman versus Buckley is coming up in a couple weeks, and today, guys, I have the full card breakdown for you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. So I got a lot of feedback from you guys because I was asking if you liked these full card breakdowns coming out early, and the vast majority of you guys said yes. So I appreciate your feedback. I'm always looking to make the channel the best that it could be. So I don't know what else to say. I'm delivering on this. We have the full card breakdown early. This is before UFC 316. Doesn't matter. There's no performances that we need to take a look at there that will actually affect how we're looking at this card. But out of every single fight on this card, only one right now we don't have odds on OddsJam for. But again, if you'd like to skip to any part of the video, timestamps will be there. Thank you very much for being here. Let's get into it. Starting off with the first fight, we have an absolute banger in Vanessa Demopoulos versus Jamey Horth. Okay. I'm still upset, man, because I was so confident. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm not upset because, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really like Vanessa Demopoulos, but I was sure that she was going to win this fight. But I'm like, you know what? Vanessa Demopoulos does suck. She might just throw it away because Talita Alencar is one of the worst fighters ever, and she lost. But to be fair, she fought a month ago. Talita Alencar came in and looked up, roided up beyond belief. So we might chalk it up to that one. But there isn't really anything to break down about Vanessa Demopoulos. She's your typical WMMA fighter. She has an okay game pretty well anywhere. There's nowhere where she shines. She's a very, very below average performer, and the 11-7 record does speak for itself. She's had quite a few robbery wins. The UFC wants to promote her. Does well on YouTube for, if you want to get some girl content, But Jamey Horth, on the other hand, she is an accurate and powerful striker for the division that she's in. She does a good job pressuring, and she does a good job on the feet in general, and she makes her opponents think about where she's going to be placing her next shot. So on the feet, she is a decently capable fighter. Again, nothing good to go crazy about, but she does have a hole in her ground game. She is 7-2. In my opinion, she completely lost this Ivana Petrovic fight. I thought it was a horrible robbery. So I'm looking at her kind of like she's on a 3-fight losing streak over here. But to be fair, it is against okay competition. Like Ivana Petrovic, okay, make of that what you will. Miranda Maverick, she's on a roll in the division right now. And Veronica Hardy, overrated fighter. Vanessa Demopoulos, though, also like one of the most inconsistent fighters of all time. She's almost 37 years old. Even in her wins, a lot of them you can look at that and go, I don't know about that one. I don't know. But other than like Jacqueline Amarim, I'm not sure that Vanessa Demopoulos is even taking on like anybody of significance. Guys, this is a very low-level fight. The way that I'm looking at it is you have somebody who is almost 37 years old for the strawweight division. You have someone who's incredibly small for the strawweight division, and Jamey Horth at least is a capable striker. So I'm going to pick Jamey Horth to get the job done. I am fairly confident in saying that. You have a fighter who like sucks versus someone who like kind of almost sucks, okay? So Jamey Horth is going to be my pick, and we have the old odds for this one. I should have mentioned that as well. Crap. Sorry about that, guys. Vanessa Demopoulos did step on this in short notice. Wow. Starting off with a great breakdown here, but it does go against her either way. So unfortunately, we don't have the odds for this one. My pick is going to be Jamey Horth. All right, guys, let's continue on up the card to Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. This is actually a pretty good fight. We're on the streak right now of UFC cards that are going to be bangers, and I'm very excited for this card. Okay, so we have Phil Rowe. He is a high volume striker. He's really good at range. His BJJ is pretty good. He comes in, he scraps, he does a good job. He's 10-5, fairly inconsistent, but I will say, in one of his losses to Neil Magny, while it was a close fight, I personally thought that Phil Rowe won the fight. Really nothing to note, though, and he's coming off of a loss against Jake Matthews, which, to be honest with you, there's not a ton of note there. It was just a good scrap by both guys. So, even in Phil Rowe's losses, he looks okay, but there's still nothing to really, say, yeah, Phil Rowe's the best at this. Ange Loosa, on the other hand, he is an accurate striker with good cardio, good jabs, good leg kicks behind it, and he does have a good wrestling game on top of all of that. He can be, at times, very explosive, and I love the way that he mixes up his striking with his takedowns. He is a very underrated fighter, in my opinion. He's 10-4. He hasn't really been able to get any win streak going into the UFC. He came in and he's been looking like he looked okay, especially in the couple fights he had here, AJ Fletcher and Reese McGee, but depends how you want to look at those couple years ago and those losses, those wins, besides maybe, depending on how you want to look at AJ Fletcher, they're okay, and Reese McGee's an okay fighter too. He had that problem against Brian Battle where he was doing good in this fight, but it was too early to tell how that fight was going to go. Then he lost recently against Gabriel Bonfim, and it was still a decent performance, man. Bonfim just did a little bit more to get the win, so I think we kind of figure out, excuse me guys, if you can still hear my notifications, my mom keeps texting me. we kind of have a gauge on how Ange Loosa kind of fits into the division. I don't know if he's really improving all that much, but he is a good fighter, and I think he is a good enough fighter to get past a guy like Phil Rowe. I think they're going to come in, they might scrap, and I think Ange Loosa will be able to, if they start to grapple, I feel like Ange Loosa will be the one to get the better of Phil Rowe in the grappling department and on the feet. I think Ange Loosa will be a little bit better, but Phil Rowe can scrap. My pick is going to be Ange Loosa. I think he's going to get back on the win train with this, and I hope he wins, man. I hope he wins. I think he's a very underappreciated fighter. All right, guys, let's continue on over to the next fight, the rescheduled Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. I mean, I'll break it down still, but we already talked about this. I'm not going to dive like too deep into this one. We have Paul Craig, who is a grappler who really lacks a stand-up game. He wants to get you to the ground. If he does find himself getting you to the ground, he can be dangerous. He's a fighter that you can never in a million years count out because he is that good at jiu-jitsu where all of a sudden he can get your legs around you, get a triangle choke no matter how much he is losing. And it's important to note, he is moving back up to 205 for this fight. He fought his last few fights over at 185. And guys, these losses, and like he's had the Kyle Braujo loss and then he had the Brendan Allen fight. Those are really good. Those are really good losses to have if you want to even say they had good losses, you know, but he is losing a little too much. The Bo Nickel loss looks horrible at this point. He beat Andre Muniz. That doesn't look good either. So Paul Craig's career is in a little bit of a worrying state, okay? But he's taking on Rodolfo Bellato, who is a grappler with huge power. His game plan is to walk forward, throw bombs, and just get his opponents out there. He has decent takedowns, good submissions, and good control behind that groundwork. He also, though, Rodolfo Bellato can be sucked into a brawl at times. Sometimes that works out for him because, again, he has that major power, and he has good heart, and his durability is ridiculous. But one of these days, of course, getting sucked into a brawl isn't going to work out so much for Rodolfo Bellato, but I personally don't think that he needs to worry about that too much against Paul Craig, okay? Rodolfo Bellato coming to the UFC. He's looked pretty good. He's looked good before the UFC. Recently, he fought against Jamey Crute. I thought this was a robbery. I thought Jamey Crute, I mean, do you call a draw a robbery? He absolutely lost this fight, in my opinion. But guys, I'm saying the same thing like I said earlier. And if anybody, didn't hear why this fight ended up getting canceled, was because Rodolfo Bellato had herpes. I'm not kidding. I don't know why that he should be allowed to fight again. They just get spit on each other, and then what are you going to do? Like, swallow his herpes? Like, just because it's not present on your lips, it doesn't mean you don't have herpes. And it can still be transmitted to Paul Craig, so he might... I would refuse to fight him, to be honest with you. I would absolutely refuse to fight him. But anyways, the only other thing to note is we did a video before this card talking about the mentality of the fighter headspace, and I was listening to the media day of Paul Craig. He does seem very driven. He understands where he's at in his career, and he mentioned that he kind of feels like his back's in a corner in a way where he might not have a job come Monday if he loses this fight. So he is really locked in. Unfortunately, I like Paul Craig. That's why I say unfortunately. I don't think that he's going to get past Rodolfo Bellato. I think no matter what happens, Rodolfo is going to walk forward. He's going to land that huge power, and he's just going to overwhelm Paul Craig and land those nasty bombs on him. Is it possible that Paul Craig finds a submission while he's getting pounded on the ground? Yes, but I do not think so. Rodolfo Bellato is a little bit relentless. He has really good heart. He's just going to keep pounding, and I believe that's what he is going to be doing to Paul Craig. I think Paul Craig is out of his prime, and I don't think anybody necessarily overrated him, but there's clearly levels to this, and Paul Craig is not on the level of Rodolfo Bellato. Grappling department, yeah, sure, okay, but I think Rodolfo's too tough. He's just going to be landing bomb after bomb after bomb, and my pick is going to be Rodolfo Bellato, and I'm very confident in saying so. But I hope I'm wrong. I'm a fan of Paul Craig. I like Bellato too, man, but I really want Paul Craig to win. I like the guy a lot, okay? Paul Craig is sitting at a plus 245 underdog right now. Rodolfo Bellato at average odds of minus 392. Honestly, I think it could be more. I think he could be going into the 5-600. Like, I do not see Rodolfo Bellato losing this fight at all. All right, guys, let's continue on up the card to a sneaky banger of a fight, okay? This is a very under-the-radar fight, and excellent matchmaking by the UFC. I can't wait for this one, but it's with two guys that I really like to watch, and it's one of those fights where I'm sad, and I'm so sorry about the notifications. If it happens again, I'm muting everything, okay? I really enjoy watching both guys. I think they're both very underappreciated and very great talent in the sport. They don't get enough recognition, both Ricky Simón and Charles Jourdain. So it's really unfortunate that, especially with them both having recent losses, that somebody has to lose this fight. So while this is a banger, I can't wait for it. I really like both of these guys, and it sucks, okay? Ricky Simón, Charles Jourdain. Ricky Simón just got all of the hype back behind him after his recent win. Ricky Simón is a high-pressure wrestler with great movement who weaponizes cardio and will do anything to get you to the ground. He does have solid technique wherever the fight goes, and his striking is improving typically every single time that we see him. And man, in his recent performances, and I have said this throughout the entire 3 losses that Ricky Simón has had, this dude is getting fed to the wolves. These losses are perfectly acceptable to have. Song Yadong, Mario Batista, and Vinicius Oliveira. And all of those performances besides Vinicius Oliveira, and even then he showed he was tough. Like, that one really just didn't go his way, but he still had good performances against both Mario Batista and Song Yadong. And I think that's something to say. No matter what happens with Mario Batista, I'm recording this prior to UFC 316, whether or not Mario Batista wins or loses against Patchy Mix, he's still a very capable fighter, and he belongs towards the top of the division, okay? Then, he took on Javid Basharat. He showed that there are levels to this game, man. He was just a step ahead of the entire fight. He pressured, he got great takedowns, mixed in the martial arts, and landed an amazing KO. Love that Ricky Simón ended up getting a win over there. But Charles Jourdain, on the other hand, man, he is in a new division as well. We've seen him a couple times now. He's in the 135-pound division. He is a fast, come-forward striker with good durability, nice timing on all of his shots. He has a good grappling game behind all of that. Sometimes, though, and this is why Charles Jourdain's kind of fun, he does take risks in his fights. He'll throw flashy things, and every now and then, unfortunately, that will end up working against him. He'll throw like a really fun kick and then end up getting taken down or caught or something like that. Recently, though, like I said, he has moved to the 135-pound division. He looked good on the weight. His chin is held up. His speed has been really good. And unfortunately, he is not coming off of 2 losses, but take a look at these 2 losses as well. Just like I was talking about Ricky Simón, guys, Sean Woodson is such a weird opponent to fight, and he almost won that fight. I did think that Sean Woodson ended up winning this fight, but it was a split decision, okay? And then Gene Silva. That is one of the toughest fights that you could possibly take right now, and he still had a back-and-forth fight with Gene Silva. Charles Jourdain, and I've been saying this for so long, guys, of both Ricky Simón and Charles Jourdain, they're so underappreciated in the sport. I love watching both of these guys fight. And then he came back, got a really nice win over Victor Henry. He looked great in this fight. He looked great. He was having a good performance, ended up getting the finish. Both guys I'm very high on right now. Both guys are in their prime, with Ricky Simón possibly exiting his prime. This is a tough fight. I hate the fact that somebody has to lose this. I'm going to pick Ricky Simón. I think it's going to be a little bit similar to the Javid Basharat performance, not in the sense where it's like the same thing will happen, but I believe Ricky Simón will show that there might be levels to the bantamweight division. I need to see Charles Jourdain beat a Ricky Simón before I go, all right, Charles Jourdain is a contender at 135. Right now, I think that he's sitting a little bit outside the rankings, and Ricky Simón is with the top 10. I think Ricky Simón can perform, and he has shown that he can perform at the top 10. I still have those questions about Charles Jourdain and he's entering the toughest division in combat sports history. My pick's going to be Ricky Simón. I think that his experience will play a factor in here, and I think that he will get the better of Charles Jourdain in most exchanges. Although Charles Jourdain, though, he's a great fighter. He could absolutely win here. I don't know who's the favorite, actually. I would imagine Ricky Simón's a little bit of a favorite, but my pick's going to be Ricky Simón. Again, hate that somebody has to lose this fight, but I am very, very excited for it. Ricky Simón sitting at a minus 184 favorite. I get that. I think that a lot of people would kind of come to the same conclusion as me in that bout, but I am, again, very excited for this fight. All right, guys, let's continue on up the card. We have Michael Chiesa taking on Court McGee. I actually think this is really good matchmaking by the UFC for both guys in the part of their career that we're in right now. You have Michael Chiesa, one of my favorite fighters of all time. I always cheer for Michael Chiesa, and hopefully it's decent matchmaking for him, okay? Michael Chiesa is a BJJ grappler with subpar hands. He does a great job when things get dirty, and especially when he's the one forcing it. When he's making his opponents fight dirty, Michael Chiesa does a good job, and he kind of shines when he's controlling that type of pace. He is always trying to touch you. He's always trying to smother you, and for a BJJ guy, he has some very well-timed takedowns. Michael Chiesa is oddly coming off of, and I thought that Michael Chiesa was done in his career after watching the losses that he took, but again, take a look at those losses, but he has been a little bit inactive. He came back after the layoff, lost to Kevin Holland. I'm muting my phone now. Sorry, guys. There we go. Oh, you know what? That won't even make a difference now. Oh, ridiculous, man. Sorry. But anyways, he came back, Kevin Holland, and he ended up losing that fight. But then he bounced back with 2 nice wins against the dead body of Tony Ferguson. But then he took on Max Griffin just 5 months ago. And to be honest with you, and as much as I'm a fan of Michael Chiesa, I kind of thought that Michael Chiesa was a little bit washed, but he looked really solid. But the problem is, he fought Max Griffin, and Max Griffin just offered absolutely no resistance. My takeaway from this was it was a good performance. He still has fight in him, but he is definitely over the hill. Court McGee, on the other hand, he's one of those fighters. He's a tough guy. He's decent everywhere. He always, though, unfortunately, throughout his career, and this is the problem now because he's almost 41, he always got by on his toughness, but nowadays he can't take as much damage. Now, Court McGee, and I've mentioned this in other videos, he is always better than his record shows. He's 22-13, he's not better currently than his record shows, but he always was better than his record showed, because he took on a lot of high-level opponents with a lot of high-level experience, or he has a lot of high-level experience and took on a lot of high-level opponents. This breakdown's all over the place, guys, but Court McGee, man, he's a very underappreciated fighter, okay? But at this time in his career, he's almost 41 years old. He is well past his prime. He can't take the same amount of damage, and that's been a little bit rough for him. So when these two are coming in together, guys, you have two people that are over the hill. I do not believe in Wild. Court McGee, like, he got a win over Tim Means recently, but Tim Means is also way over the hill. I think he's like 42 or something like that, but he ended up just getting a takedown in the rear naked, which before that, nothing happened. But prior to that, he was losing fights, and I think that he's going to just lose another fight over here. Michael Chiesa still has some fight in him. I think he'll come in, he'll make things dirty, and I think he'll smother Court McGee and possibly find a submission. Michael Chiesa is going to be my pick, and I really hope he wins, because again, I am a huge fan of Michael Chiesa. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time, man. Michael Chiesa is sitting at a big favorite over here at minus 337. We have a prop over here too, over 2.5 at minus 167. I don't trust that because I can see Michael Chiesa finding a submission, but I am very confident Michael Chiesa getting the job done. I think this is a good particular matchup for him. Let's continue on up the card though, guys, over to Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. I always feel bad when I talk about Cody Durden because I keep saying, like, he is a good fighter, but he's just not, he's getting sucked in against like some huge, highly level opponents, and he's just not a rankings fighter, I don't think. But anyways, we'll talk about Cody Durden, okay? Cody Durden is a powerful wrestler with your typical wrestler overhand. He wants to throw the right hand, he wants to dive at you, wrestle, break you down. If he gets you on the ground, he has great control, scrambles, BJJ, and the will to get the win, and he is one of those guys, and ever since his post-fight interview a little while ago, he said that he's one of the guys that would rather die than tap out. He has proven to be one of those guys, and he has all the heart in the world. And man, like, he's 17-7. He's been extremely inconsistent, but look at these names that he's taken on, guys. Look at these names, and I feel so bad, man, because, like, look at, he fought Joshua Van, okay? And it's so evident. This is why I feel bad for Cody Durden, because he tried so hard, and he doesn't suck, okay? He's just been getting beat. And that's why I feel bad for Cody Durden, man, because, like, this dude has been dragged through the mud with opponents, and he has all of the heart. He has great technique. Like, he just loses, unfortunately. But Jose Ochoa, on the other hand, he's a shoot box fighter. He is an exciting prospect. He's a well-rounded fighter with a variety of attacks on the feet. He has wrestling. He has BJJ to back that up. When on top, his submissions are very dangerous, but his overall grappling is good as well. You just have to worry about this guy when he is on top of you. He came into the UFC with a lot of hype on him, ended up losing to Loner Kavanaugh, but that is a good loss to have. We're thinking about Loner Kavanaugh like maybe being a champion one day. I'm not thinking that, but people are like hyping that guy up like crazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm high on him too. I think he's great. I just don't know how far he'll go. I think that we need to see more from Jose Ochoa, but the problem is, like, he is training with some pretty good guys. You always have to worry about a shootbox guy, and it's funny because they all kind of fight the same too, eh? I think this might be a fight that Cody Durden could actually win. Maybe his experience can come into play over here, but it's a tough fight. Cody Durden's so inconsistent, we don't know. Plus, Jose Ochoa does have some potential behind him. This is certainly a fight that I will not be betting on. This is a very low confidence pick, but I am going to go with Cody Durden. I like the experience. I like the wrestling technique. Maybe he'll be able to catch one of the shootbox fighters with that overhand a couple times. I like Cody Durden in this matchup. I hope Cody Durden wins because, again, I feel bad for him. He's been dragged through the mud, okay? Cody Durden is the underdog in this fight, sitting at plus 127. I get that. That's fair. Cody Durden's been inconsistent. He's been losing, and Jose Ochoa is a promising fighter. So I get that, but Cody Durden is going to be my pick. Now, guys, let me stop you for just a second before we get into the main card. As you might know, I am very big on betting. I am a fight fan who enjoys to bet. So if you are looking to either support the channel or see what exactly I am doing with my money, because I do talk a lot about betting, if you're interested to see what I actually end up doing, you can check out the channel membership, which is extremely cheap compared to other channels. You can check it out in the pinned comment description down below or the join button right next to the subscribe button. Every single Thursday, Friday, or Saturday morning, depending on whether or not I want to bet on Friday fights, I'll be uploading a communities post for members as well as a members-only video explaining exactly what I'm doing with my money. So if you're interested in seeing that, either or that, or just supporting the channel, Check that out. Channel membership, again, very cheap compared to other channels. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Let's get into the main card for today. Kicking off this, is it a 6-fight main card? Regardless, we have Cody Garbrandt taking on Raoni Barcelos. Cody Garbrandt scraped together 2 wins, coming off of a loss again. We all know the story of Cody Garbrandt, man. He was the greatest fighter of all time for about 25 minutes, but he is a very fast striker with good power. He has good movement. He shines in his boxing. Unfortunately, Cody Garbrandt is weirdly at 34 years old, way past his prime. He's been hesitant, he's chinny, and he lacks fight IQ. He has been able to scrape together in his 14-6 record 2 wins, but it's against Brian Kelleher and Trevin Jones. That's nothing to note. But then he took on Deiveson Figueiredo in the bantamweight division, and while he was looking okay for a second, Deiveson Figueiredo ended up just working him. Raoni Barcelos, on the other hand, he's on a very interesting 2-fight win streak right now, okay? He is a Brazil national wrestling champion. He's a well-rounded fighter. He has good volume. He has good pace. He can fight at high level and is capable of going through absolute wars and absolute dogfights. His heart is definitely there. On top of that, if he gets fighters to the ground, he does have great ground and pound, and his takedown timing is very nice as well. He is aging now. He's 38 years old, but he has shown that he is not nearly washed, and he actually just what a lot of people are calling a fraud check. He beat Peyton Talbot. He beat him for a straight 3 rounds. He looked incredible. And while the fight was fairly close on the feet, he just I don't want to say exposed him, but he just worked him on the ground. He's coming off of a fantastic performance and another win before that. I'm kind of high on Raoni Barcelos after that because I still do believe that Peyton Talbot is a great fighter. And I know MMA math doesn't typically work, but imagine Peyton Talbot versus Cody Garbrandt. How do you guys think that one would go? I'm going to go with Raoni Barcelos. Maybe he's going to have the same type of deal. The only chance that Cody Garbrandt has is to chin him. Cody Garbrandt does have good power. I don't think he's going to chin Raoni Barcelos. I think Raoni Barcelos is going to come in. He is going to... The striking might be a little bit back and forth, but if he mixes in the wrestling game, I think you can see a Deiveson Figueiredo type style performance against Cody Garbrandt. Raoni Barcelos is going to be my pick, and I hope he wins too. I'd like to see him continue going. I'd like to see him, could you imagine if this dude ends up going on a run at 38 years old? That'd be wild. Raoni Barcelos sitting at a minus 163 favorite. Honestly, for a Cody Garbrandt fight in 2025, that's not bad value right there. But my pick is going to be Raoni Barcelos. All right, guys, let's continue on up the card. We have Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdulmalik. The UFC, yet again, trying to kill Cody Brundage. You know what, guys? You know what? I've never disliked Cody Brundage. It's just, he's obviously a level below a lot of the UFC fighters over here, and he's kind of gotten memed. But how funny would it be if this guy just kept winning? I hope Cody Brundage goes on a run, man. But here's a description for Cody Brundage, okay? What can I say besides he is a lackluster fighter who is just okay at wrestling? Honestly, he has cardio issues, durability issues, striking issues, you name it. He's not the best fighter in the world. He's an okay wrestler. And his wins and his losses, you could pick out parts of each fight that he's had. It's there's a weird moment the way that it ended, the Jacob Malkoun fight. Somehow he slammed Zachary Reese. He lost to Bo Nickel, which that was actually a little bit of a dogfight. But the problem is you're having a dogfight against Bo Nickel. And now we all know how good Bo Nickel was, right? You have the situation with Abdul Razak Al Hassan. And then finally he fought Julian Marquez, which... they just swung, and he won. This dude's career has been so chaotic, and as I say, I will never in a million years bet on a Cody Brundage fight again. But he's taking on Mansour Abdulmalik. He is a well-rounded fighter, but primarily a striker. He has really nice power. He has great elbows. When he gets on top, he has absolutely ruthless top work, and he is just an insanely strong guy in general. Another thing that I love about Mansour Abdulmalik is if he finds himself on the ground, or whether on the top or the bottom, he will punch his way through submissions, and I wish more fighters did that. A strong guy, a powerful guy like that, sometimes striking could be your best submission defense. So, unfortunately, guys, the UFC is just trying to get Cody Brundage killed again. Mansour Abdulmalik will probably walk forward and destroy Cody Brundage. He will land whatever shots that he needs to land, and he will finish him, and I don't think that Cody Brundage's wrestling will be enough to take out or be able to control Mansour Abdulmalik. I am very confident that Mansour Abdulmalik will get the job done, but with Cody Brundage's career and the way that it's went, you never know. All of a sudden, Cody Brundage is going to land a cartwheel kick or something like that. But I'm not saying this and I know how it sounds. It sounds like I'm just being disrespectful to Cody Brundage, there's just been some odd performances, okay? And everybody talking about him quitting out, that type of stuff. I still hope that he wins, though. I would love to see Cody Brundage actually, improve. He is in his prime. If he improves as a fighter, just keeps knocking people out, just having the Dricus du Plessis plot armor, I hope he wins. But he shouldn't win this fight. Mansour Abdulmalik is going to be my pick, and I'm very confident in saying so. The odds showcase that as well. Mansour Abdulmalik sitting at a minus 562 favorite right now. It makes sense. There's no way he should lose this fight. But honestly, if you think that something crazy will happen, throw a few dollars on Cody Brundage. You can see, oh, wow, over 1.5 and under 1.5 is very interesting too. I think it would go under, but yeah, that's a fight that's just very, very difficult to predict in general. But again, Mansour Abdulmalik is going to be my pick. Now, guys, let's continue on to another fight that I'm actually quite excited for. This is, again, excellent matchmaking by the UFC. We have Edmen Shahbazyan taking on Andre Petroski. Edmen Shahbazyan, he is one of the fighters who has never really lived up to all of the talent that people were hyping him up to be, but he is a good all-around fighter. He's well-rounded, and he is really good when he's just moving forward. And when he's moving forward, he can be quite explosive, but he does lack defense, especially against takedowns and against any ground control, and that's been the story of some of Edmen Shahbazyan's losses. And let me know what you guys think about this, okay? He's been inconsistent his entire career. Sometimes he shows up, he looks great, and sometimes he shows up and gets wrecked, okay? Now, the Dylan Budka fight. I know it was a quick fight. He got a really nice combination. He finished the fight early. Did anybody else just think that he looked on? It's just I get it. It's a gut feeling. It's way too easy to tell just from one fight. I think he just looked on that night. He looked like he was really, really, not that he hasn't taken his career seriously. I just saw kind of a different kind of fire under Edmen Shahbazyan. If anybody sees that differently or agrees with me, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think about that. But let's continue on Andre Petroski. 13-3 on a 3-fight win streak right now. He is really been putting it together, man. He's a strong wrestler with powerful, but sometimes sloppy, but a little bit improving hands behind all of that. He has good BJJ, he has a good wrestling game, and he has great wrestling defense as well. He's good at pressuring, but while he is pressuring, sometimes he does leave himself overextended. On the ground, though, if Andre Petroski ends up getting to the ground, he makes his opponents hurt. He has really, really solid elbows and nice short shots. He is very good at grounding pounding his opponents, okay? The only big note that I have with Andre Petroski sometimes is that when I watch him is that he does have issues listening to his corner, and I know that it's much easier said than done, but if your coaches are telling you to do something against your opponent, Andre Petroski, sometimes he kind of has issues with it, straight up doesn't do it, and doesn't look like he's listening sometimes. But another thing about Andre Petroski, which it seems like he has been, not that again, like I was talking about Edmen Shahbazyan, he hasn't been taking things seriously, but he claims that his team does tape study on their opponents more than anybody in any team in the UFC. He's also been improving from fight to fight, and he has been getting better with the game plans. He's been talking about playing it safe, and he has shown that. While he still does things like leave himself overextended, he has been slowly improving in his bouts, and I believe that he's taking this extremely seriously. And so far, since he said that, he's had, so I don't want to say lackluster performances because they've been good performances, but he has been playing things very safely, and that's okay, man, because he's been looking good. Like the Josh Frem, the Dylan Budka fight, he did what he had to do, and the Rodolfo Vieira fight was very close. I personally gave this to Rodolfo Vieira, but it's not like a robbery enough to complain. Andre Petroski, though, he's been looking good. And I know I just yapped about him way more than I yapped about Edmen Shahbazyan in general, but guys, this is a close fight. It's the fight that I don't think you should be betting on. I like the momentum that Andre Petroski is on. I think he will come into this fight and he will play it as safe as possible. That means I believe he's going to come out with a grappling game plan. He better have his hands up because sometimes when he's moving forward, of course, he can leave himself overextended, and that's when I can see Edmen catching him. Edmen does have good power, especially at the beginning of the fight. But Andre has been doing his tape study. Andre has been showing up, improving slightly. Andre has been really, really game planning, and I think that game plan will be to take down Edmen Shahbazyan, work him, drag, expose his potential cardio issues that he'll show up with, and then possibly find a submission. Other than that, I believe he'll just land some really nice, patient ground and pound. So while it is a little bit of a low confident pick, I'm talking I'm 65-ish on Andre Petroski right now. I think it's a great fight. I think anything can happen in this fight, but my pick is going to be Andre Petroski. I cannot wait to watch this fight. I think it is, again, excellent matchmaking by the UFC. Andre Petroski's the underdog. Edmen Shahbazyan sitting at a minus 203 favorite. With Edmen Shahbazyan and his inconsistency, man, I don't understand how he can be a favorite like that. But anyways, let's see what over 2.5 plus 100. So the odds are really showing that they're confident in Edmen Shahbazyan, because I don't think that Andre Petroski, he could, yeah, you know what, he could finish him, but I think these odds are kind of reflecting that the odds makers think that Edmen Shahbazyan is going to finish Andre Petroski quickly. Honestly, so there's some solid value with the round lines and for Andre Petroski in this bout. I still don't think you should be betting on this one, though. But I am excited for this fight. I like both guys. Both guys are really, really working hard in their careers, man. I don't want to see either one of them lose, but not as much as I'll be like pulling at the heartstrings for Ricky Simon and Charles Jourdain. But it's just two fighters that I appreciate, man. I enjoy watching them fight. But Andre Petroski is going to be my pick. All right, guys, let's keep going up the card over here. Alonzo Atomic Menafield taking on Umar Sy. This should be an explosive and fun fight. Alonzo Menafield, stand-up fighter. He has good power and good takedown defense on the side to keep things up, and then just wants to just destroy you on the feet. He wants to walk forward. He wants to land his bombs. He can be wild. He can gas. And unfortunately, Alonzo Menafield also does not have the best fight IQ. He's coming off of, after having two pretty rough losses against Carlos Ulberg and Asmat Murzakanov, but I will say, like, while he didn't have a horrible performance against Asmat as well, like, but Carlos Ulberg's one is a little bit weird too, because he just came out guns blazing and ended up getting finished. Like, that's the fight IQ type thing we were talking about with Alonzo Menafield. You never know what's going to happen. He came back. He got a win against Julius Walker. To be fair, he did take this fight on short notice. Like, and when I'm saying to be fair, it's like because it wasn't the best performance in the world, but they just slugged it out the entire time, okay? Umar Sy, on the other hand, he is 11-0. He is a well-rounded fighter, but a dangerous finisher on the feet, on the ground. This guy can get it done anywhere. And to be honest with you, that's the entire breakdown for Umar Sy. He's looked good in all of his fights so far. He's finally coming into the UFC. He got a win over Dawoon Jun, and Tuko Tokos, where again, he comes in, he does what he does. He's had solid performances, especially against Dawoon Jung. He had a really, really solid performance. I think that he's more likely to beat Alonzo Menafield, though. You got to worry when Alonzo Menafield comes in guns blazing, but I think that Umar Sy will be able to deal with it. If he can get the takedowns going, that will be ideal, but I don't know. Alonzo Menafield does have good takedown defense. I think he'll be able to last longer. I think he has better fight IQ. Umar Sy is going to be my pick to get a finish on Alonzo Menafield. Let's see what the odds are. And I was about to say, I would imagine Umar Sy is a big favorite. I'm confident in saying that he'll get the job done too. Umar Sy sitting at a minus 481 favorite. That fight is a little bit more straightforward to me, but my pick again, Umar Sy. Now guys, final pause of the video over here, sort of interrupt again, but as you might know, I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. We upload content daily on multiple channels, so if you happen to enjoy me, you enjoy the fights, and you want to get into any other niche on YouTube, you can check out the link tree at the top of the description, or you can find the direct channel links also in the description down below. If you want to watch me, I would appreciate it if you checked it out on any other channel. We've been seeing a little bit of bleed over, which has been nice. I recognize some names, and it's been really cool to see. So if you are one of those people, I appreciate you. But even if you're just watching this video, your time is very valuable, and I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Let's get into the co-main event. All right, guys, let's continue on over to the co-main event. We have Rose Namajunas taking on Miranda Maverick. I don't know why. I just never thought that I would see this matchup, to be honest with you. But there isn't much of a breakdown with Rose Namajunas. She is a very complete fighter. She can do everything in MMA. You have to worry about her motivation. Every once in a while, where you see Rose Namajunas just wanting to like sit back, play the piano, and want to work on a farm, and you can see clear motivation issues here and there with Rose Namajunas. So you have to worry about at this point in her career what Rose Namajunas shows up, but she's still in her prime. She is still a very good fighter. She's a complete fighter. She has technique everywhere, cardio, you name it. Rose Namajunas can do it. Miranda Maverick, though, she is a wrestler and a grappler with good takedowns. Unfortunately, though, her striking is where she is lacking, but it has been improving slightly. And when I say that she's been improving slightly, like she's added some nice counters to her game. So every once in a while you see like, ooh, Miranda Maverick just landed a nice counter there. But for the most part, she just pressures, she tries to take her opponents down, and she's reflected that, and especially her last couple performances over here where there's really nothing to note besides Miranda Maverick came in, she got her takedowns, she wrestled her way to the division. She's strong, she's probably a little bit roided up, and the only other thing I want to say about Miranda Maverick is she does an absolutely incredible job at listening to her coaches. Throughout the fight, not just in the corner, she is capable of listening to her corner while she's actually in the octagon, and she can adjust accordingly, assuming that is an option for her to do, and she still has the cardio to do so. She's good in that sense, okay? But the problem is, this is a massive step up in competition for Miranda Maverick. Like, look at these. She's on a 4-fight win streak, and she's looked okay. Priscilla Cachoeira, Andrea Lee, Naomi Barboza, and Jamey Lynn Horth. that's nothing to write home about. Look at the record that Rose Namajunas has had. And I know she had a good fight against Erin Blanchfield. She lost to Amanda Ferreau. The Carla Esparza one was not a fight, but then she had 2 wins against both Amanda Hebos and Tracy Cortez. Something else I forgot to mention too is Rose Namajunas is a flyweight now, and she is clearly a better fighter at strawweight, but she still is capable at flyweight. She's just not championship material at flyweight, but I think there is going to be a really, really big showcase of levels to this game here, assuming that Rose Namajunas is mentally okay. And I don't mean, honestly, I don't mean to make fun of her, but you have to worry about that. Sometimes she'll show up and she's going to be a big ball of emotion. She's going to be tearful, not wanting to actually fight anymore. She's going to want to find God or something. You have to worry about that. If Rose Namajunas shows up in shape, mentally ready, even if she doesn't, I think that she might be able to win the fight. But I'm saying if she's going to lose, that's why. Because other than that, there is no reason why Rose Namajunas should lose to Miranda Maverick. She should be able to defend the takedowns. If she's on the ground, the submission should be better. She should be able to get up. And on the feet, this will be a night and day difference of talent. Rose Namajunas is a very confident pick of mine, but for those reasons that I just mentioned, I am personally going to stay away from betting on this fight. Sorry for the jump cut there, guys. I had to end up recording this a little bit in the evening. I was recording this video initially when my baby was taking a nap, but then she woke up. But like I was saying, Rose Namajunas should absolutely win this fight, and she is my pick to get the job done. Let's take a look at the odds over here, and you can see that Rose Namajunas is a sizable favorite over here, minus 281. That's understandable, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me if it was even more. Over 2.5 minus 5,000. Wow. Or 500, excuse me, not 5,000. Rose can have her finishes, man. It's always possible to get an under 2.5 there, but definitely just Rose Namajunas money line. That's what I like. All right, guys, let's move on over to the main event of the evening. Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Dude, it is so weird to see Kamaru Usman with 3 L's there. It's so weird to see any red on Kamaru Usman whatsoever, but we all know Kamaru Usman at this point. He is a boxer, a wrestler, a very well-rounded fighter, but he's a very, very strong and imposing guy in the octagon. Unfortunately, at 38 years old, Kamaru Usman is out of his prime now. There's a lot of talk, and I don't know specifically what's wrong with his knees, but there's a lot of talk on Kamaru Usman's knees not being the same anymore. Apparently, he can't go for runs and things like that. And it showed in his last couple performances that he is past his prime. He was looking okay in the Leon Edwards fight, but this fight was just a little bit lackluster, and that loss has only aged worse as time's gone on. Then, of course, we have the Khamzat Chimaev fight where he didn't look good either, but this was up a weight division and on short notice. So, you got to cut Kamaru Usman some slack there, but he's also been inactive. He's been, doing the analyst stuff. He's been on YouTube. He has a podcast. It seems like Kamaru Usman is kind of moving on now, but it is very evident that Kamaru Usman is not the same fighter that he once was. Joaquin Buckley, on the other hand, 21-6, has been really, really putting it together in the 170 division. He is a well-rounded fighter who excels in boxing and wrestling. He does have a developing game. He seems to be improving from fight to fight. Every fight, this dude shows up and he looks more imposing. He has good takedowns. He has good instincts. He sticks to game plans. He has good cardio, although we still have to question his 5-round cardio at the pace that sometimes Joaquin Buckley can fight. He has really good clinch work, and honestly, something else has been improving for Joaquin Buckley has been his speed. He's in his prime, he's really coming into his own, and he has taken on, while the opponents, some of them have been well out of their prime, I will admit, okay? Like Colby Covington, Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, Alex Morono. The only recent good win that he has is Nurusan Ruziboev, but at the same time, Joaquin Buckley has been looking like an absolute killer. If Joaquin Buckley was fighting prime Kamaru Usman, it would be a hands-down Kamaru Usman choice for me. But this Kamaru Usman isn't the same. It doesn't seem like he has that fire lit under him that he once was to want to be that dominant champion. I could be wrong about that. That's just the vibe that I get from Kamaru Usman. So I do think that the hungrier, younger, in his prime version, Joaquin Buckley might be able to get the better of Kamaru Usman. But this is a 5-round main event. Kamaru Usman certainly has more experience there. So my pick is going to be Joaquin Buckley in this bout. I don't think he'll knock out Kamaru Usman. I think it's going to be a pretty tough fight. Joaquin, he looked so patient and good against Colby Covington, man. Like in his last fight, this dude has just been getting better and better. So you guys, I do think that he's going to beat Kamaru Usman over here. But again, it's a little bit of a low confidence pick. I'm not necessarily like low confidence. I'm kind of like 70-30 on this one. It wouldn't shock me if Kamaru Usman ended up turning it on in the later rounds against Joaquin Buckley. But can he at this point? We don't know. Joaquin Buckley is at a minus 272 favorite. Understandable for the state of the career that Kamaru Usman's in right now. Over 3.5 rounds. That's actually not bad. I don't mind that at minus 167. I don't hate that at all, to be honest with you. A little bit of a parlay piece over there. I'm a big 1.5 round though, guy. I'm not too big on fight goes the distance and stuff like that. But Joaquin Buckley is going to be my pick. I also hope that he wins, man. I I've really come around to Kamaru Usman. I've really been enjoying his podcast, but I've been cheering for Joaquin Buckley. I've been really enjoying his rise, and the fire under him is like something that you want to cheer for, you know what I mean? But guys, I would love to know what you think about the entire card down below. Thank you very much for watching. Why don't you check out the Explore recap that we just did, taking a look at anything and everything in the world of MMA that's been trending. I would love to have you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody.